Peace. What's up, everybody? I'm back again. Yeah, I want to tap right in because I don't be having much space. I constantly always space running out and all that. But yeah, the way that you figure out stuff in reality is not just by reading books and following belief systems or groups and none of that stuff. So I don't care whether you any of the religious groups or any of the other kind of groups, you're not going to get it just off that. If you do not understand true history, if you do not understand certain events that happened in history that's not taught to you, you will not understand what the heck is going on. It's like when it comes down to peoples, you have people who originate from the land, right? And the remnants of these people are most of the melanated people. Basically, these are the people that really own the land where they at, where they came from. So, being as though these people are the proper owners of the land, this is the reason why these people have been oppressed in so many different ways. If you don't get into the mud flood thing in the stuff like the New Madrid earthquake that happened in 1811, 1812, whenever, there was a couple catastrophic events that happened that affected the whole plane, the whole world, and meaning it basically destroyed a lot of stuff. Stuff was, almost these places, all of the world been underwater, under mud and dirt and all that stuff multiple times. So whether it come from, well, it's happened multiple times. Let's put it to you like that. If you look into the history of stuff, they always try to put wars and different conflicts happening at certain times. It's like, let's say around the time of let's say 1812. Okay, what was going on then here in America? What was going on in Europe? What was going on in Australia? What was going on in Libya, so-called Africa, whatever? What was going on in these places at that time? And you will see that they always try to put some type of major war / conflict to be happening at that time to explain away some of to explain away the destruction that was there, that happened, right? You got to explain away the destruction by, you say it was a war happening. It's just like the so-called Civil War that happened here in the United States. Because it ain't just 1812. Something happened, let's say, in between, I guess, let's say 1850 in that area. So, it has to be explained away. It has to be explained by something. So the only way you can explain this destruction is like with wars and stuff. But then if you know about the technology and what the people were capable of that time, the destruction that you're witnessing in some of these old pictures that are still around, that you can easily see, you just been taught that the destruction came from something else, you'll see that the stuff that the people were supposed to even have had at that time is not even capable of doing what you're seeing. You know what I mean? Even like with photography, taking pictures and stuff like that. Stuff has been out much longer than what we have been taught in mainstream history. So you got to put the pieces together, through that. If it wasn't for the fact that I was just a curious person and I dipped into that, and I went into that through looking at flat Earth stuff. You know what I mean? So flat Earth kind of like that rabbit hole took me into other stuff. So the flat the mud flood thing was was interesting to me. So I dipped into it, and guess what? It started. I started figuring out other stuff that I was already getting into, especially with genealogy and with the whole American Indian thing and more science and and etc. You know what I mean? Even with the Moorish, I just want to be clear about something. Like, being a Moor did not start with the Moorish Science Temple and with the Noble Drew with Noble Drew Ali. So you know what I mean? He just came back and just basically well, he did a lot. He might be the best out of everybody who ever came, so far as like a so-called famous black person from America, because he told the people to get back to connecting with a nation and not this other mess that don't mean nothing. So you know, even in the American Indian people, which I'm in American Indian and I'm a Moor. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know that you have to be connected to a nation. All that black stuff and all that, this stuff's not relevant. Not even white. There's no such thing as a white nation or a black nation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So Noble Drew Ali came with the best thing out of all of this black history stuff. So and it's funny that I remembered him from back in the day when I was a kid. I remembered him. So, you know, but they didn't tell us a lot about him. But I remember it. Like when I heard his name, I said, yeah, you're right. I remember that name. You know what I mean? For a reason. So, if you know, but a lot of the stuff that you'll get from learning from Moors or even the American Indian paradigm, you know, can be explained. You can see what happens and understand what happened if you go into the blood flood thing. Because first of all, if you still tricked up thinking that we was living in teepees, you meaning melanated people was living in teepees and not building these massive megalithic structures, then you still sleep. You have to wake up and understand that when you go back further, then we are advanced. This is why they want to trick you out your land, to keep talking the craziness, not connecting to a land or connecting to a land where you really don't come from. And also, even the more you learn, you start understanding a lot of, you know, the African peoples. They may not, well, they'll like it because that means they have more title to over here, because for the ones that want to come here and are here, yeah, we related. We definitely related. But people left America to go to Africa. So in reality, we are related to the people, and there ain't nothing wrong with being no African. But a lot of them African people, if they do their genealogy, they find out that they got a great grandfather that came from here, came from America. So it goes deep and deep. That's what I said. People vibrating on the same level is gonna get together. It don't have nothing to do with no race and or any of that. When you vibing high, you're going to connect with other people that's vibing high. And people that's on high vibration, they want high vibration, wanting truth, and for people to have clarity and to have justice and safety in their life. They're not going to misuse the information in a way where they'll just keep people in the dark and keep telling lies. You know, to keep telling lies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because the just ones from all the groups, because you got unjust ones, you know, from these so-called melanated Indians and Moors and stuff like that. They holding the truth back. They selling it for $1, all of that different stuff. So, you know, you gotta be leery of everybody. Because even Noble Drew Ali said in his works, he said you gotta be careful of your brothers, because they the ones that's gonna put you back into bondage, put you back under servitude, slavery, and all that. Even though we can't be Slavs because we're not Slavic. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. These are ones. That's why you see the people that go against you saying that you an American Indian or you a Moor or you just, you know what I mean. You just ain't that black stuff and all that. The ones that go the hardest on you off of that stuff be the people, your own people. So it's a lot of stuff that you got to fortify yourself against, and a lot of stuff that you got to get into in order for you to figure it out. If not, then you will remain asleep, and you will not really know what's going on. And the people that do know will continue to laugh, and not only just laugh, but to continue to just move you around the chessboard as they wish. You know, they already know. Like, I remember the big thing, people used to always say, oh, this is the white man's land, this and the third. People used to say that stuff out their mouth. And to be on their own land. But this is the whole thing. Guess what? If you don't know it's yours, you won't fight for it, or you'll stop fighting for it. But your grandparents didn't think like that. Your grandparents didn't think like that. Your grandparents fought tooth and nail for their land. You know what I'm saying? And now you got, and it only, how many years would it take for people to forget who they are? Our kids, like I'm 50 years old, and our kids that's, let's say, I got children, I got different levels of children, but you got, let's say my kids that's in their 20s, right? They don't know what the heck was going on in the 90s or the 80s. And in the 80s and the 90s is real to people my age, you know what I mean? It was really, it really happened. We really was there. We really lived a whole different life than what's going on right now. So how long do you think would it take especially if you separate the family, you take the kids away from the mom and the dad and you teach them that, yo, we got y'all from upriver somewhere, we brought y'all from Africa or whatever. How long would it take for you to trick these kids into believing that they came from somewhere else? It ain't no way, like my oldest relatives that I really literally knew and remember, he was born in 1910, right? Now let's say if I could talk to him, he could really tell me what was going on in 1920, 1925 in vivid detail, right? But he's no longer around. Or not even my grandfather that was born in 1921. He's not around no more. So I can't really talk to him about really what was going on during the Great Depression, when World War II started and all the different stuff. You can't talk to him, he's not around. So guess what? We got to take our information from books. And you can be misled through books, especially if you don't have nobody to talk to who was really around and who could tell you about what was the attitude, what was the mindset of the people at that time. So imagine if you go back to 1776 and you believe in that certain words mean a certain thing, but you're not in the mind of the people at that time, and you cannot talk to or communicate with nobody from that time, like literally. You can make a lot of mistakes, and you can have a lot of false and fake assumptions about what was going on and what the people meant. You know, just like okay, we started everything here. Whether you think the colonizers were melanated, as well as the people that was here when they got here was melanated. People that came in who we believe that are or that are called white, these people didn't come into the 1800s. And you got other people from that group saying the same thing. They proving it. You know, when you get into like orphan trains and different things, you know what I mean? A lot of the people, they have grandparents. Most of their grandparents came by way of that. They came through Ellis Island and all that different stuff. These are like what I had to say. These cities and stuff were repopulated with these people. These cities was already here. But what's up, baby? All right, you know what I mean. So these places was repopulated. And guess what? If you don't get into that, or if you don't care about that, or you think it's not important, then stay asleep. But don't mess with nobody that's like trying to learn and try to know who they are. You know, and then like with people to run around talking about money, well, as long as I'm making money, or long as I'm making money or whatever, right? What money? Paper money? Paper money not even real. And now they even got the mindset, people running around getting worried about them changing the currency and all that. So what? They didn't convince us. I know people didn't kill people about paper money, and that's not even real money according to real law. You know what I mean? So like, how much could you get tricked? All of us went to school and learned what the colors are, like black, brown, purple, orange, and all the different stuff. And then somebody convinced you to call yourself black, or somebody convinced another person to call himself white. I ain't never seen no white person the color of a white paper. I've never seen a person the color of my black remote control for my television. Never seen that. I've seen brown people from different shades of light, and even people who have a pale color complexion. They're not white. You never seen nobody like this is white. Have you ever seen somebody this color? No, you never have. This is black. Have you ever seen somebody the color of this brush, somebody black? And look at it in contrast to my skin. You know, I'm brown. This is black. But then you have people that are darker than me, which is a darker brown. It's not, or they say, oh, copper colored people. The copper colored people are the original people who this land belonged to. Does this copper chain match my skin tone? So wake up. Get off of the trickery and get out the trick plays. You know, they ran so many trick plays on us that we just continuously just keep saying the same stupid stuff. The same stupid stuff. And then they get us with the conflict thing. Wars against Hebrew Israelites. All of that dumb stuff. Muslims against Christians and Jews and all that different stuff. All that different bullcrap. And the people of the past didn't go through all that because they knew what the heck was going on. We are living in a post-reset environment. The old world order, everybody knew who they was, but they knew as they changed things and they did certain things, they knew it would only take maybe 40 years, 50 years to get people out of their element, to get people out of knowing who they really are. And we've been in the state where though, like, let's say my parents was baby boomers, so like let's say they was in school in the 50s. Like I said, you got different programming. Every generation of people have a different form of programming, and even getting different shots to mess your brain up. You know what I mean? And it's all the same. It was all the same, but it's a different brainwashing. The brainwashing from that my grandparents went through is not the same stuff that my parents went through, or that I went through, or that my children is going through. Well, I got grown kids, and still got some young kids, but we didn't experience the same type of programming and brainwashing. So the people that's going to take the lead are the people that care about it. That's the people that just want to. They want to run around. They want to chase money and continue to chase money. Because you ain't gonna. At the end of the day, you ain't gonna have no title and you ain't gonna have no say in nothing. You just going whatever. You accumulate some wealth. Good for you. And the world run on, you need. I guess you, and it's still now in this time. You still need things to make your way. But if that's your sole goal, then you can go ahead and just keep swimming with the swill. But as for people who trying to get their title back, they have to think, and we're going to think a certain way, and that's just how it's going down. And all that conflict stuff and going back and forth for what, all this different stuff, this religious stuff and all this different ways for conflict and all that. It's really, it's brainwashing. It's bullcrap. It's all bullcrap. If you're of God, you know what I mean? If you really believe in the law, then you should be upon establishing justice on the earth, not keep being on conflict and this conflict mentality. It ain't worked all these years that we've been seeing with our own eyes, so that should tell you something. It's not going to work into the future. Everybody don't have to believe in the Most High God in the same way. It's more than one way to get to the same destination. It's more than one way, man. It just is. And you can know when you want something that ain't really all the way right, or it's been messed with. And you got these people say, "Oh, this book been messed with," but this book ain't been messed with. How stupid can that? Who do that sound? Our book ain't getting messed up because of the way that the book was. You got special people that protect the book. But what if the people that you think is protecting the book is the one that's changing it? How about that? You ever think about that? Or yeah, you gotta believe. You can believe in this book. You gotta believe, but guess what? But not right now while we talking, or it don't pertain to right now. But you gotta believe in it. Come on, or don't listen to these people, or don't sit with these people. But these people is your people, is your family. Come on, man. That's all of that stuff is just to keep the ones that's gonna go hard on reality to not care about it. Seriously, so many different ways they trick us up to not care about reality. To not care about reality. Like, let's say, praying for your dead relatives. Come on, man. Like, but, I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of brainwashing. It's a lot of stuff that put the people in different mindsets, negative mindsets. That's not good for them. That's not good for them and for their people. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It's real easy to sell a godly person some religious stuff, especially when it's all encoded into your blood and in yourself. Somebody like me, you could sell me some religion because I love God, I love Allah, I love religion, I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, y'all praying? Oh yeah, who you praying to? Oh, him up top. He the one who created everything that exists. Guess what? I'm gonna go right with it. I mean, you might can sell me something, or you might can make me happy, or you might can make me mad. So guess what? It take time to sort through a lot of stuff, but you best to sort through it and get and sort through it, and you know, and find out what you need to be doing. Whether you just like you're extra in this movie or this play, or you one of the main characters. It is what it is. It always was like that. Either you're an extra or you're a main character. You got to decide what you're gonna be. And if you want to learn something, or you're trying to learn something, you're going to more than likely be a main character. If you don't care about it and you just worrying about whatever, you still running around trying to F hoes or get niggas to buy your bag or any of that, you know what I'm saying? The lingo, I can this lingo on both sides, whatever. Even and I'm talking to everybody, not just so-called black people. I'm talking to white people too, you know what I'm saying? This is the same thing. Like, you get your minds right, because if you don't get your mind right, you about to get ruled over by the people who know what's going on. And that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So you need to figure out what's right. Not only just what's right for you, figure out what's right and then go with what's right. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Peace.